Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia chapter 102. It is late, I should have done it yesterday, but yesterday was one of those days when I got home from work and I was tired, so I took a nap and then I just didn't do the work, I guess. And even today, I'm meant to be at work doing overtime between 8 and 6. I'm recording this at 4 o'clock. And that's mainly because I couldn't sleep all night till like 5 in the morning. And before I knew it was 2 in the afternoon. So my sleeping patterns are atrocious. So I'm trying to change up my way of doing things. I will be changing up my setup as well. As you may or may not notice, the lighting is a little bit better in here because I put up some curtains. When I bought this house, it had blinds. It did not have a curtain rail in some of the rooms. And I now put up some curtains. What to expect is I will be getting another light to kind of even out the lighting. As you can see, it's more on the sides at the moment, and I will kind of adjust it to make the benefit of 3-point lighting. So expect to see that very soon in the next 2 months or so. So look out for that. Hopefully that improves the lighting and the quality of the video. And as you already know, I've already improved the miking setup. So the mic should be a lot clearer, and it should be a lot louder because it's a lot closer to my face. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the review and the talking points of this chapter. So the first section or segment that I want to kind of discuss is the continued discussion about the development of Izuku's kind of gear, his 2.0, his gamma version. It's important that they say it's a 2.0, not a final version, which indicates to me in my mind that there's always going to be improvements. So we find out that they want to make changes and make the most of the full cowl ability that he has, which is going to continue to progress as he gets more control of his power. And they want to focus on maneuverability and being nimble, so making the full maximum utilization of that ability and adding damage and spikes where possible to his kicks. Now the talking point to this segment is Uraraka's face. I don't know if it's confusion, jealousy, or she's just thinking about something, but it was really different to what she's normally like, the cute, plain-faced, happy-go-lucky type of person. It is different. We find out that this kick that was used to protect All Might is in fact not necessarily a special move or a finishing move, but a work in progress. I like that idea because that way Izuku is not resting on his laurels, is always looking to improve himself, which we can indicate later on in a further talking point, but I'll get to that as point number 1. Point number 2 isn't really a big talking point, but it's interesting to see. Once we find out the bits and bats of point number 1, and he's talking about maneuverability and not being a finished product, we see that Bakugao is still doing his thing on top of the rocks, and he asks All Might to be careful, which makes All Might think, he goes, have I lost my position? Am I not as powerful in their eyes anymore? Have I become helpless? So it's good to see from a developmental point of view where All Might goes from here, because obviously he's lost his powers, he's become more of a normal citizen, and he's got the history of being All Might, but where does he go from here? So seeing that journey is going to be an impressive one. It's going to be interesting, and I'd like to see how he develops as a person to fulfill his promise to Izuku to get him ready to be the pillar of support for the community. So that's point number 2. So point number 3 is more of a general one, but there's a few things to bear in mind with it. The first thing is we get to see some of the developments from some of the other characters, design-wise, abilities-wise. We don't see as much full capacity, but we know there's changes that we've been made. We see some from Kanamari, and Shuto. So that's important. And the next part is the setup for the provisional licenses exams. That's really important here because they mention a few things. It happens at least a couple of times a year, and it happens in different locations, and they are looking to separate A and B so they're not having to go against each other. One, because it gives them the greatest opportunity to pass, and number 2, it's a lot easier for them to show the full capabilities because they're not fighting with their friends. So that I found was very interesting. We also find out that the people that are going to be here aren't necessarily going to be first years. Potentially they're going to be second or third years, and they'll have a fuller grasp of their abilities or their quirks and unknown abilities that we have not seen in the actual story so far. So that's another talking point, point number 3. Point number 4. Point number 4 is a small point, so I won't really kind of spend too much time on it. And it's basically Uraraka's feelings. So he looks like she's embarrassed, or later on in the chapter, or she's kind of, I guess, distracted. And you know the people, the girls, they're all by. They're like, are you in love? Is it, And she gets embarrassed and she starts floating, which to be fair is kind of cool because that shows her ability and she's got more control of it. The extent, again, we haven't seen. We'll have to wait till the provisional exams. Now, whilst this is happening, I find it kind of cool that straight away they're still showing Izuku training outside. Remember how I said he's not resting on his laurels on an earlier point? It shows him trying to master the kicking techniques of Ida, and he's kind of got notes and stuff like that. Ultimately, the strong point for Izuku is his determination and his knowledge to be able to break things down logically and technically and put them into practice. I think this is very important because I'm hoping he learns more from other people to become a more well-rounded and more complete hero for the future. So that's point number 4, I guess. Now, point number 5 is a bit of a longer one, and I'm going to do my final thoughts on it as well. So here goes. We get to the actual provisional, one of the locations for the provisional exam, and we find out that there's 2 elite schools, not just the one. UA is for the east, the east, and Shiketsu is for the west. So that ultimately tells me there's at least 2. But I also feel that there's going to be at some point others. What makes me think this is because these are the elites. For them to be the elites, there have to be other schools out there that are being compared to for these to be considered the elites. And there could be a resentment there because they're overshadowed or overlooked or not in the spotlight. And this could be an opportunity for people that maybe are not as fortunate, who have not been able to go to the elite schools, to maybe step up. So I think there's at least going to be a couple of more. I don't think that we're going to see like a top 10 maybe. I think that might be too much, but you never know. So that's an interesting point to bear in mind. And we get introduced to a character called Urashi Inasa. And he's a tall dude in that who kind of gets involved in the plus ultra kind of chant. And he turns out being from the Shiketsu school. And we find out that he got the top scores in the UA entrance exam, but turned it down. What this tells you is a few things. Number 1, he's strong. Number 2, more than likely Shiketsu has stronger people or more talented people in there for him to think there was no competition in UA and he wanted to develop further. That's possibly why. So that builds up Shiketsu. What it also does is enhances the point, and this is kind of focused on in this chapter, that he's more talented than Shuto Todoroki. Now, here's where I kind of partially disagree with this. There's things to consider. Number 1, Shuto is still developing, and he's had a big mental conflict with himself, with his family, because of the way his abilities work. Because he's got 2, right? And a lot of the time, he's been using just his ice ability. So with his ice ability, aside from Urashi Inasa, he came first, right? What if he used both his abilities? What if he combined them like he's looking to do now? He's going to be in a better place. And also, you've got to bear in mind, he's still not fully trained up as he should be compared to other schools. So this, to be fair, will be a plus point to build up this guy from the other school. But it's also going to show you the development of Shuto Todoroki, because now he's going to be using both abilities rather than just the one. So, brilliant setup chapter, brilliant introduction of new characters. How much new characters, or how many new characters are we going to see over the next coming chapters? And also, you got to bear in mind, this is just one location. There's multiple locations where Class B going to kind of see some people, and I'm assuming that's going to be a turning point. That's going to be a shocker later on, because there's going to be powerful people at the other places that want to become or get their provisional hero licenses. That is my summary. That are my thoughts. That are my breakdown on the talking points that I found in this chapter. It's not a top 5. It's not a top 10. It's just my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. If you haven't caught up because you've been watching the anime, please do so. This is my talking points. Give it a check. Give it a read. You tell me what you think in the comment section below. If you agree or disagree, let me know. If you like what I've done or you like the chapter, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.